Hi guys, it's me, Miss Manifester, helping you open a spiritual doorway to the abundance that you deserve. I feel like it's been ages since you've seen my face, and today you've got these beautiful rays of electronic light shining down on my face. So tough bananas. I hope you love it. I'm loving it. We'll get over it. Today I am joined by the amazing Pippa Leslie and Chris Mortensen. Pippa, I've known Pippa for quite some time, and obviously I've got to know Chris a bit through Pippa. They have manifested an amazing twin flame relationship. So this is one of these law of attraction success stories. It's really here to give you guys some hope that whether it's your twin flame or your soulmate connection is out there. So I'll give you guys a little chance to say hello. Pippa and Chris, do you want to introduce yourself? We'll start with Pippa first.
Hi guys, thanks Esther for having us. So I'm Pippa and I'm an ego coach and Mother Earth healer. And I think since I stepped into being a Mother Earth healer and really connecting to nature, that's when I started to manifest Chris. So we're obviously going to talk a little bit about our story, but a bit about me. I'm a Disney fanatic. I love animals. I love nature. And, the animals is what led me to Chris too. So that's why we have such an amazing connection to nature and animals. And I'm just fun, outgoing, I manifest everything that I've ever wanted. And Chris has been my biggest manifestation to date. So I'm super, super happy about that.
Oh, it's so smushy. It's so smushy. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself. Try not to blush. My face is starting to hurt already.
No, I'm not. I'm Chris Mortensen. I'm actually living in New Zealand right now while Pip's stuck in the UK. Again, part of our journey, and we'll talk about it today, in the twin flame journey that we've been in. I have a PhD in animal physiology behavior. I have a podcast in animal conservation that's doing pretty well. That's how Pip and I met. We'll talk about that. I was a professor for over a decade in the United States and got out of academia. So now I'm just doing some consulting work and then working with Pip, trying to support her and what we're doing as far as promoting, not only our twin flame relationship, but also what Pip's doing in our spirituality. So kind of a free spirit right now, but I'm down in New Zealand, got family down here and just waiting for this pandemic to finally subside. Year going on, but I was in the UK for many months. That's where I got to meet Esther, and then Pip and I were together. But I had to get down here to be with my family. But now we're just trying to get Pip here, trying to manifest that. So.
Yeah, do you know what though? Like, obviously, I know the story about when you came to England, and obviously how it wasn't meant to be for as long as it was. And to me, that was just an amazing manifestation opportunity that the universe gave you guys to really come together and just to do what you needed to do with each other at that time. So Pip, Chris, let's get you guys back together. I think even that in itself is just so inspiring that you're going through this and you're making it work all these miles apart. Obviously my partner is in Manchester, so there is a distance there, not as great a distance, but it doesn't really matter because at the moment, because you're not allowed to go anywhere, distance is distance. So massive love and props to you guys for going through that battle, because every day is a new day. And I'm not going to sit there and go, it's a load of fun. No, of course you would much rather be back together. So Pippa, let's start with you. Where were you at before you manifested Chris, before you kind of found him? Were you actively manifesting a new soulmate twin flame connection, or were you just kind of like, meh, I'll take what comes along?
Well, because I'm a Disney princess, so it's so funny because I'm like this Disney princess, but I'm like this gamer girl. So I've got like both sides. But I remember when I was in a karmic relationship, and then I left, and then I went to Australia. I was like, I'm going to go find myself in Australia. And, you got to just follow your heart, haven't you? And as Chris knows, I am a free spirit and a brave, and I just go and do the things that I feel called to do. And I remember just being in Australia and I've always wanted that dream man. I'm a Disney princess. I've always wanted my knight in shining armor and, my prince to come rescue me. So when I was in Australia, I just got really inspired I think I was watching Manifestation Babe. She was watching one of her videos, and it was about manifesting a soulmate. I was like, I really want a soulmate. I'm sick of all these karmic relationships now. I want someone
I'm
I
done.
want someone and I want specifics. So I was in Australia and I remember just watching this video and I got my notepad and I just wrote down, I've actually got the list still, it's packed in boxes, but I've kept it, I'm going to frame it. And I literally wrote 2 pages of what I wanted in a man. And Chris is everything to the T, even penis size I wrote down. That's how specific I got. And I just love that bit. It's like my little line, you know, where everyone has a little line. I'm like, yeah, that's everything. So
yeah, now I'm blushing.
Yeah, Chris is like, I'm gone. Thank you so much.
But like, you know, I mean, even that, you know, that's part of Chris and I, you know, we're just open and we're authentic. But yeah, so I was actively manifesting a soulmate, and it's so quick how the story, which we'll get into after Chris has spoken, but even just the fact that we actually were in each other's energy field before we even came into each other's energy field consciously, you know, so we'll talk about that soon. But yeah, I just remember writing it down, and I just, you know, part of me didn't doubt it, but I was like, I need to be more specific about what I want in a man. And, you know, it was even things like, you know, when I'm cooking dinner, I want him to wrap my arms around me when he's coming from work or something and give me a kiss on the cheek. And he does that all the time. And just like, he'll like touch me and like, you know, just hold my hand and kiss my head, and just the little things that mean a lot to women especially. And I couldn't have asked for a more perfect partner.
Oh, that is so beautiful. And like, you're right, like just little shows of affection go a really long way. And being specific, I think it's this 2 sides of the coin, is that for some people they're being so specific that sometimes what they're asking for isn't actually that aligned to them, and then they close a door down, and it's like an amazing partner comes through to them and they're just like, but you don't have blue eyes.
Yeah.
So we're like shutting that down, and then I'm sat there going, what are you doing? Like a lot of it is about the feeling, but 100% like specific scripting is such a powerful tool. So for the audience, take that away. Pippa was using scripting. She was being specific. If you're either being specific about the attributes of which Pippa has listed some of those. However, you can also specifically list how you want that partner to make you feel. But that is super important, because it's too vague to just say I want to manifest somebody, because that person can, whether it is karmic or whatever, but it's so important that person is aligned to the actual intention that you want really behind that relationship. So Chris, coming to you, where were you at whilst Pippa was over in Australia writing about certain things?
I was no. I actually flew over her over in Australia, which is funny because I was in. So I had gotten out of a pretty horrific karmic relationship. Just long story short, my ex-partner and I were friends. We talk. You know, she's down here in New Zealand. Like there's no bad blood. That's part of my journey, is getting over that and finding forgiveness, which I think is one of the biggest takeaways I've had in the past year and a half with Pip. But at the time I was dating, and I was in this bad relationship that just wasn't working. And I remember laying in bed at night, just praying to my guides, you know, and meditating and just going, please send me an angel. I need help. I need help. I need help. I didn't write a list, but I can remember so many nights I was laying in bed just going, send me somebody, just send me somebody. And, you know, as when Pip and I connected, it's funny. It was like kind of a slow burn at first, but then once we came together, it has been light speed since. So I wouldn't say I wasn't as specific as Pip, but if I had to make a list, I would say Pip filled it perfectly. Perfectly.
And sometimes it's just that, like you were saying, you were crying out from the heart, weren't you, for what it was that you really, really needed. So tell us a story. So obviously, Chris, you have your podcast, and somebody came and like kind of found you through your podcast. So what happened there?
I'll let her carry some of it, but from my perspective, it did have fans that would reach out on Instagram or send emails, Facebook, and I would always be nice and, you know, banter back and forth or just write stuff back. And so I had this beautiful younger woman, you know, and I wasn't looking, right. I was in this relationship with someone else. So I wasn't totally innocent. I swear to God, innocent, 100%. But she wrote me and she's like, oh, I really love animals. I really want to go to grad school. And since I was a professor, ex-professor, that was my thing. I loved to mentor. So I started writing her back. I'm like, oh yeah, this is so cool. And you should study this. And so we're going back and forth. And I look and she's in Australia. I literally thought Pip was an Aussie. And I thought, oh, she's beautiful because she lives in Australia. Okay, whatever.
She's got you fooled. On the Australian part anyway.
Then it really accelerated past that to when, when I was single and I just was like, I was so attracted to you. And then bam, we came together. But I'll let Pip tell more of the story from her
I think what's magical about it is the fact that, anyone listening to this, it's following your heart. It really is about following your heart and not listening to anyone else, because, I had this calling to go back to uni to study animal behavior. And, I was still in Australia and I was due to come home beginning of September. And, I put the feelers out to look for, a course, and I Manchester Uni was the one that I was going to go to. So that was in my field. I wanted to kind of learn more about animals. And, I clicked on a website, typed in animal podcast to listen to, because I was down in Burley Beach and I had time in the day. So I thought, I'm going to listen to a podcast. And I've always loved animals, and I had this amazing experience with the dingo and all the zoos. So that was just all like pushing me down that way. And I remember just like, there was a list of like so many different animal science podcasts. And I just clicked on the one that really, stood out, and it was Chris's. It was All Creatures podcast. And I remember scrolling right down to episode 1, and I downloaded it, and it was about, them starting it, and it's about evolution. And, his voice was even drawing me in because he was American. I look at, just that foreign accent. I was like, oh my God, his voice he sounds so sexy. Like, I need to look this guy up. So I remember looking on Instagram, but, just being a nice, friendly person, I like to give people credit, and I listened to a few other episodes, and I just reached out to Chris, and I just said, I didn't know it was going to be Angie, because Angie's his business partner in the podcast. So, and it was Chris. And I remember like looking him up, and I was stalking him a little bit. And I think the video that really turned things for me, probably like the October time, was I just kept watching one of his videos on Instagram. He was picking up litter on the beach, and he was talking about life. And I'm like, where's this guy? I'm sure this guy's meant for me. Like, I was really drawn to him. And then eventually I did tell him I was drawn to him. But I think the bit where Chris said he was flying to New Zealand in the July, and he flew into Sydney, and we actually dated it back through our pictures. I used to sit on the beach in Botany in Sydney, and his flight came over me. We found out.
I love it. Like, you guys, it's just making me like, so like, oh, it's so smushy.
There was a rainbow that day. I have the photo.
Yeah. Wow. I love that so much. We'll have to you have to send me that photo, and I'll pop it I'll pop it in the corner here so everyone can see it. It's really beautiful, and it's really inspiring. So tell me a little bit about what a twin flame relationship means to you, because obviously there's a lot of information out there. But what does it mean to you guys to be in a twin flame relationship? I'll start with Pippa.
For me, it's not all like cupcakes and rainbows. It's not like it's amazing. It's the most intense out of the relationships, but it's about the growth for me, especially Chris and I. Anyone who's actively trying to manifest twin flame relationship, know that might not be for you in this lifetime. It could be soulmate. You could still have a few karmic relationships in there. They're all meant, but twin flame relationship for Chris and I has been exactly what we needed, because we're so romantic. We're so we love so deeply, and there's that real intense. I mean, obviously the whole story started 11/11. Which is, we only realized a few weeks later, we was like, oh my God, we actually started officially dating on 11/11, which is for twin flames. So romantic twin flames, we've got this real intensity of deep love, deep yearning for each other. But, Chris will agree, it's tough. It's tough in the way of, it's like that true love fighting for each other, because we mirror each other, because we're such the same, end of the day, we're one soul split in two bodies. So, we've come together in union, and we do mirror each other. We trigger each other in a good way, in a sense of we push each other. We know exactly when we're off. And the fact that we're actually all these thousands of miles away, we still have this connection in the 5D, and the physical obviously is the hard part, but it's about the growth, and it's about pushing each other to the next level and ascending. It's about the ascension in twin flame relationships, because we've rapidly just ascended so much, and we're finally just getting to the pieces now where we're like, we've done the real you know, this separation that we've just been through now. We've not seen each other for 4 months, and it's been the most growth, hasn't it, Chris? It's just been like amazing. You know, it's been difficult and upsetting sometimes, and you get angry and frustrated, but at the latter end of it, it's just incredible.
And I think that's it, isn't it? And it's just that important thing to note is that I don't know if you can hear my dogs, they're going mental. Obviously, that they know we're talking about all the animals and stuff. They're going like crazy outside the door. That's the thing. I think a lot of people get into spirituality and just think it's like, oh, high vibe living all the time. And it really isn't that. It is about looking at the shadows and the releasing and all of that stuff that comes with it. Like you can't go in on that journey without it. And I think that's the amazing thing about you guys and being in a twin flame relationship is that my understanding of it is that there are these times where you kind of like come apart a little bit just to do this inner healing work and you come back together more as the whole. And I think that's really what's kind of going on here, where you've had this little separation period again, is just to do some more work. And then obviously you're manifesting that you're going to be coming back together soon, which is really amazing. Chris, what does being in a twin flame relationship mean to you? Are you kind of like, yeah, everything Pippa said? Is there any more insight that you want to kind of give on that?
Yeah, and just from the masculine perspective, I mean, when I was thinking about this, I knew this was coming up today. It is the most loving, deep loving, complete love I've ever felt in a relationship. And Pip and I have loved other people. We have been in karmic relationships that we were in love with them, and all that came with that. And I believe we both were in soulmate relationships where, you know, we deeply love somebody. So we have been, and you learn this in the twin flames. Like our lives have almost completely mirrored each other. You know, our first true loves, and then the karmic relationships are very similar, and now we've come together. So it is the best relationship I've ever been in, but it can be one of the most challenging. And I wanted to say that not from the perspective that Pip and I don't yell at each other and get into screaming fights. I've been there, done that, you know, got the t-shirt, don't ever want to go back, where it's just like ego and just going at each other. We never do that. We get in tiffs, and this last 4 months have been really hard on us. Where we trigger each other, but we're very open. And I'm like, you triggered me with this. And then if I trigger her back, which has only happened, I think twice in 4 months, or 3 times, twice. It's only been twice. We've gotten into like, you know, for us.
Who's counting?
Yeah, I think it was twice, but it was twice. It was twice that we both got triggered, and we were on the phone till like 3 a.m. here. She's in the middle afternoon there. I'm exhausted. And I'm like, I don't understand why you just can't love me. And she's like, wait, you know, and it wasn't a yelling match. We've never gone there. We never will. But again, it's that mirroring. So now I think we're at a level where we're ready for reunion. We're ready to come back together because we have done a lot of healing. There's still some more healing to go from past relationships. Pip has not done one thing that's caused me an emotional wound. She's done some crappy things. She can talk about it.
We're all human. We all do things like unintentionally. That's the whole thing. Is we don't. But
there has not been anything that's been, you know, not meant. So, sorry, fighting my throat. So it's been amazing. It's amazing, but it is hard. It is hard. You have to be ready to face yourself in the mirror. That's what it forces you to do.
I think that's amazing. Is that like, would that be your kind of big piece of advice, or is there any other advice that you would give to anybody who's, whether they're manifesting a soulmate or a twin flame connection? And as Pip said, like maybe a twin flame isn't meant to be in this lifetime. Maybe that's not what will come to you. But what other advice, whether if anybody is watching this and they're in a twin flame relationship and they're just like, oh, this is me and this is my life and like this really resonates. Is there any other advice that you would give to anyone that's either calling this in or going through it?
I would probably say, from the research Chris and I have done, and we're also going to talk about our podcast at the end of the end of this, but it's about, there will be times where, I mean, Chris, this hasn't happened for me and Chris, but probably more so Chris, you know, where he's just wanted to give up. He's like, I can't do this twin flame relationship. It's too intense. It's too hard. You know, you do read about that a lot, and it's because it's so intense. Like even in the good sense of the love, like it's like, wow, I've never felt love like this, because it is divine love. And that's what our podcast is called, Divine Love, because, you know, love is the most powerful frequency, you know, that's the most, you know, when we connect to love, you know, it's up there with the most you can tune into. So again, if you're in a twin flame relationship and it's getting to that point where you're like, I can't do this, it's so hard, it's that runner chaser constantly, it's just take a break. Take a break, as in not a break of your relationship, just take a break of worrying about it and go within. Because you think about it, you know, one thing that really, really shifted Chris and I's relationship was when you're healing yourself, you're healing your twin flame and vice versa, because you're the same soul split. So you think about that one soul is just like this. You're still, it's for both of you. So we had a separation period last year, which was the only separation we've ever had. We didn't speak for 10 days. It was the hardest thing I ever did, because I'm very like, you know, I'd want to just end with love. I want to just like just get on with it and be happy and, you know, kiss and make up. But we were, you know, he was in LA and I was in the UK. And I remember just thinking, I need to do this. And obviously we had Louisa, our earth angel, just saying, you know, you need to not text him because he needs to have a shift. And he did. He had a huge quantum shift in those 10 days. So it's being selfless for both of you, because it's not just about you in this relationship. It is about both of you, because you do it when you're doing the inner work, you're actually doing the inner work for your partner too.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that on quite a lot of levels, even just outside of like in terms of like friendships and things. Like you just worrying about a person doesn't really serve it, or trying to fix it doesn't really. The most powerful thing you can do is to go away and work on yourself always. Chris, do you have anything that you want to add into that?
Yeah, no, I mean, Pip captured it. I mean, it's facing your own demons is really what a lot a twin flame is. It's because Pip, you know, again, reflects back my insecurity. And after what happened to me in my karmic relationship, and, you know, any wounds I had from childhood that we all carry and all that stuff. So, you know, it was facing those and being willing to say, you know what, I'm going to work on it. I'm going to get better at it. And I'm going to be a better spiritually elevated, and then also improve our relationship. So coming from that when I did have that shift, because I had like given up, and I don't know if everybody knows what that is, but it basically was Easter Sunday. And I'd been so much stress with Pip, reading about twin flames, because I had no idea what a twin flame was. I had no clue, but all the synchronicities, I mean, everything that happened to us made sense. I was trying to get Pip. Pip wouldn't talk to me. She was like being rude to me on text, leave me alone. And I just was like, so I finally got out of my chair real quick and I threw my back out, which has only happened to me twice. And I literally fell on the ground and I couldn't get up. You can't move. Your back spasms. It's so painful. And I remember sitting there and I heard my guide, Ethan, say, he said, you know, he was talking to me. I just said, I give up. I just give up. I don't care if I never see her again. I don't care about anything anymore, because I had so much going on in my life that was going wrong.
I think it's about surrender. It's surrendering, isn't it? You surrendered.
Yeah, you hand it over. Yeah.
And I had like this totally calm feeling come over me. A voice in my head said, okay, stand up, brush yourself off. You're going to be fine. And it was serenity. It was like total serene. I got up. And I just was like, wow. And I saw the world in a totally different light. And nothing's been the same since. Nothing's been the same since I met Pip, you know, and we started dating. But that was a big moment for us and me. And then a few days later, that kicked Pip into having her own quantum shift. And then 2 weeks later, I'm in the UK.
I think it's so powerful. And I think what you've said is just really important from a manifestation angle, for whatever it is that you're asking for, is to just, sometimes we're just trying to hold things so tightly and control outcomes. And we also put so much emphasis on ourselves that we have to be the ones who, whether it's action or whatever it is, but sometimes it is, especially when, like, I'm at a point with something where it's like when you're trying to fix like a piece of technology or something and you just can't do it. You're just going like, I just put my hands in the air. I just say, you take over. You know, you see the memes and it's like, Jesus, take the wheel. But I do sometimes. I just go, I can't deal with this right now. You got to take this, because I can't push anymore. I can't control, or this is just frustrating me. And I think it is as well developing that self-awareness of when you're in that energy space, because that is not serving anybody to be in that energy space. Something I want to touch on quickly before we kind of like wrap up. I'll just say it because I know I'll forget it. I bet people will watch this and they'll go, I don't know what you're talking about. But I've seen pictures as well of you two, and I've kind of looked at you and gone, you look the same, but like a man and a woman. And like, it's really weird. Like, I've just noticed it a couple of times, and it's just really, really, for me, that twin flame thing and the one soul and two bodies. I'm just like, man, but everyone's going to look at this and go, I'm seeing a man with a beard and a lovely lady in a peach colored t-shirt, but like, it's really interesting. And obviously you guys kind of communicate, don't you? Obviously you're in a different time zone, but you can wake each other up, can't you? With intention and thought and things, can't you?
She's way more powerful than I am. Yeah, she's way more powerful. She does it all the time.
She's giving you sleepless nights.
I'll take that. Not being ego, but I'll take that. I think it's just because the way Chris explains our story, like I did reach in like a hand, like he's wrote this lovely little story, and it's about, you know, like a hand came and saved him and I'm the angel, like that came in. So I feel like I've been leading the way, but not like in a I'm a better than you. It's just I've just been leading the way as he's become more spiritual. He's just grown so much. So I think there has to be that level of like, you know, you just, you know, pulling his energy up. But yeah, like since 11/11, that first week in November of 2019, the stuff I've wrote it all down, my journals, it's crazy stuff that you can't explain, like just the channeling messages, the waking of each other up, like it was at 222 333 444, and that was when we were in obviously in LA and the UK. But even now, you know, I can wake Chris up on the spot. Like if I think about him hard enough and I meditate, you know, he'll just wake up and I'm like, yep. But it's they're just stuff that we just know is happening. That there's loads of things, isn't there, Chris, that has happened between us. There's just the synchronicities that happen. You know, we asked for feathers, they're just there. Even when he was over here in the UK, we had lots of things with Wayne, because we adore Wayne Dyer, and you know, he does guide us and he leads, you know, it's massive spiritual teacher in our life. Even the synchronicities with him, you know, that weird things happening in the car, weird things happening in Glastonbury, with just stuff that you can't explain, but it just makes you smile and go, thanks, universe, because it's just about the reminder of that there's something at play that we can't see with the eye, and to trust in that.
Yeah, I think that's so beautiful and so powerful. And I think I want to just thank you guys for being you've been very, what I would call raw and vulnerable and honest about your relationship and the way that it kind of plays out. And just, I think that's so important for people to see. And again, like we've said, like cupcakes and rainbows, that like all relationships, especially twin flames, are going through that. But especially with synchronicities, people really need that. Like they need these kind of signs and confirmations that there is something bigger at play, because that's part of what fuels our belief in the divine and the unseen, particularly for people who are, say, not at the moment connected to spirit guides or in that place, and they're just starting out. I think synchronicities is one of like the first things that really can help to build people's faith. So my final question is, obviously, Pip, Chris, are you going yeah, or you got something?
Yeah, no, I just, and as you talk about that, sorry, before we get to the last question, I just want to say, I know we say, you know, there is challenges, there is, but again, like Pip is the most amazing woman she's so supportive. I know I kind of teased her a couple times because it's been like, out of the year and a half that we've been down this journey, it's been 3 days that, you know, have not been great. When I was there in the UK for close to 7 months, we were in lockdown. We were in each other's space 24/7. I've never been in a relationship where I didn't feel like I needed my own space. I told Pip this, there was not one day, 1 minute, 1 second that I ever thought, oh, I kind of need to get my own break from you. We flowed like water. It is the most beautiful, romantic, amazing love you will ever find. But again, it does come with some caveats. So
Chris, it's just so beautiful. I was sitting there going, if I had some confetti or some glitter to just throw at this camera, that was I was looking around. I was going, I don't have anything like that, but that's what I would do. I think it's just so beautiful and so incredible. If you could say, obviously, Pip, you talked about scripting. Personally, with manifestation exercises, to me, they're a construct of channeling your intention. And actually, as Chris said, sometimes just calling out from that heart space. It's like prayer. It's, to me, an intention exercise is no different to that. But have you got anything where you're like, I've done that and I got some really quick results? Because people on the channel love to kind of go away and they go, right, what can I kind of use to channel my intention?
I think if you're struggling with it, I think go smaller. So for me with clients, and if with anyone I tell them to do this, is just go with something like, ask for a feather, ask for a penny, ask something specific for you, ask for something. The game that I think S has probably told you about is picking a color in an animal, a color in an object, and don't obsess over it, because you only lose what you cling to, as Buddha says. So with manifestation, it's getting clear, it's getting specifics for me, because the universe isn't going to be like, well, what, it needs to know exactly what you want. But I think as well, if you are getting a little bit frustrated with it, again, remember the 3 answers of the universe. It's never a no. It's either a not yet, it's if something's better coming, or it's a yes. So is to let go of the frustration and go smaller.
Yes.
Because obviously Chris and I are practicing Taoist as well. So a lot of the Tao teaches you to go small. Smaller is best. Smaller is where, it's like the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. That comes from the Tao. So it's just about taking the smaller steps and just have fun with it. The main thing about manifestation is the fun. Don't make it so serious, because when I was writing my list, that's why I put penis size in there, because that was the fun part. I even wrote his height. I said over 6 foot. He's 6'5", so it's incredible. That list I'll have to find and show it to you, but it's pretty special and magical.
I agree. And I completely agree what you said about law of attraction. I get it. Like, we are serious about things, but that's the whole point, is serious energy really sucks the pure creative manifestation fun energy out of something. So the more lighthearted and playful you can be, especially with asking for signs, whether it's animals, colors, feathers, numbers, like it's just like playing a game, and it helps you to really increase your faith. And I think if there's something you're asking for and you feel frustrated or whatever, like I always say, go down to the minimum. And if the minimum is a sign, just to give you a bump. But like with clients, I'll often say to people, just ask for one. Like I remember I used to do that, and I still do that sometimes. I just go, just one. That to me is very believable, just to say, I'll just ask for the one.
Yeah.
I end up with 6. It's a bit like what you did the other week. You were like asked for, what did you ask for? 4, and you got 20.
Yeah.
Just
really
go
clients, yeah.
Go with what's believable, and you can't really go wrong. How about you, Chris? Is there anything that you've done where you're like, whoa?
No, the green the when Pip came into my life. Sorry, I'm like tongue tied. I remember green elephant, and I was here in New Zealand Christmas time. I was at an amusement park, and I went by, and there was a green elephant. I remember taking a picture. I was like, "Oh my god, my green elephant!" It was like the next day. So, as far as me, I think part of it is letting go. I think that's important. That's important. What I've learned the last couple of years is, manifest, visualize. I did it today. I went by the river. I sat by a tree, and I visualized Pippa touching that tree. I saw it in my head. Now, will Pippa be here tomorrow touching that tree? God, I wish she would, but she's not. I know she's not, but she will. And I will eventually see her touching that tree here very soon. So it's have faith and really find your spirituality and have belief. I think belief, because the beginning of this twin flame journey, I was like, in the beginning, she's like, "Oh, I think we're twin flames." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Awesome." So we're going to see you, whatever that means. Now that I've like really investigated it, now I'm like, oh my God, what'd I sign up for?
Yeah. You signed up for the most beautiful, loving relationship of your life.
Exactly. That's exactly how to describe it. It is the most, I'm so like, I pinch myself every day. I literally do. Even though my heart is killing me that Pip's not right next to me while we do this. That's the sucky part, but it's meant. We know it's meant for our growth. But yeah, I pinch myself every day. I'm like, how did I get so lucky?
Oh, I think this has been really special. And like, I don't know, like, even though you're not together, I just think this has been magical for what it is. And even though you're apart, you're together in heart. There you go. Some cheesy poetry for you guys. To wrap up, tell us about your podcast that you are launching soon.
Yeah, so it comes out this month. It's called Divine Love, Enlightening Relationships. So the reason why we chose that name is because, again, being in a twin flame relationship, we want to connect to divine love, you know, that unconditional love, because that's what it's about. And love is that high frequency. And again, we want to spread love. We come from love. And then the enlightening relationships is, you know, looking at relationships and seeing, you know, even friendships, family, is that they all have something to teach you. So we're going to be talking about like sex positivity, of course, you know, triggers in relationships, ego work in relationships, twin flame relationships, you know, Chris and I's story, the differences of soulmates, you know, karmic relationships, twin flames, just educating the masses, because Chris and I coming together, we know we've got a purpose to, because we love talking, you know, we love educating and teaching. So, you know, we've already started recording out our episodes. So really excited to get that out.
Amazing. So what will happen is, obviously, once you've launched, I will pop the link to that in the description below. So guys, obviously come back, keep checking the description, because the link will be in there. However, what I will do is obviously post your social media handles, because obviously you'll naturally announce on your own social media. So Pippa, where's the best place to find you? And Chris, where's the best place to find you?
I'm at Mother Earth Healer Pippa on Instagram. That's the best place to find me.
Yeah, I'm All Creatures Podcast on Instagram. So
All Creatures Podcast on Instagram. I will pop that up. So it's gonna. You guys will be seeing it right now. There he is. You'll see it right now. It's gonna whiz its way onto the screen, and they'll go, there it is. Easy to find. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you so much for your time. And guys, please go and check out Pippa and Chris and what they're doing separately and what they're going to be doing together. Sending you all lots of love and light. We all hope you have an amazing day. Let's all wave, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.